Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Grumpy Vlogger Live.
And welcome to another fun-filled evening of the Grumpy Vlogger. So, man, I need to get a haircut. I'm telling you what, I'm looking scruffy right now. But anyway, so let's just get this show right along. Let's go ahead and bring my effervescent host, co-host, I should say. I'm the host. He's the co-host. You know, I try not to let his ego get ahead of us. So I try to keep him cut down to size. Here's none other than Art Carlson.
Yeah.
Hey, Art.
Woo-hoo.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I see Dominic, the third member of the Three Stooges, is running late again.
Yeah.
You know, but anyways, so hey, let's go ahead and we'll get started on. Let me start at the top of the list and say hello. We got Drone Shots, Jody. Here we go. Trevor, welcome. Grandmister Stay Drunk, welcome. Art, you're here. Let's see, Northside Hawk, who is at least here in the chat.
Yeah.
God bless America. Welcome.
That's Ronnie.
Right. Yeah, I hadn't looked at my list. I got a list. You know, I can't. My memory is so bad anymore. It used to be perfect, but now it's just like it's mush. So, anyways, Mickey McH and Mickey Steve. Yes, and 107 Barkley.
Yeah.
107 Drones.
Barkley.
Yeah. And we are simulcasting to Facebook as well as Twitch. So hopefully I'll be able, and I don't see anybody coming in from any of the others, but you know, hey.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I figured I'd throw it up there and see what happens, you know. And you know,
that's what we ended up doing with 3 conservative gimps yesterday.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to touch on that while you and I are first opening up here. You know, I actually wrote. There's a gentleman that he put up a thing about Tucker Carlson. In case you guys don't already know it, Art and I are conservatives. You know, not in everything, but politically we're more conservative than anything. You know, as far as our government goes. Anyways, to each their own, right? But we have had you've had. It's actually your channel, but you know.
And Lloyd is a co-host.
And I'm the co-host on that.
He's one of the gimps.
One of the gimps, that's right.
Yep.
You've had a couple of videos taken down in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, I did. I got a message from YouTube yesterday saying, well, we've taken down another video. And this was Season 1, Episode 7, Red Wave is Coming. And the reason they took it down is misinformation on the elections. Well, the election hasn't happened yet. And so not only did they take it down, but I got a strike, which means I can't post anything or do a live stream on that channel for 2 weeks. And if I get another strike, and within 90 days, that channel's gone.
Yeah, and you know, I there was a video I watched last night, and it's about it was a young man, he was black, and he was watching. He was put some things up about because it was about January 6th, and he was putting some things up about it that Tucker Carlson. He actually had Tucker Carlson up there, and then he kind of, it was his reaction to it, and then he kind of talked about it. And I wrote up there, I said, you know, we're just, how many people we got subscribed to that channel?
Oh, to my channel, 202.
202, and I said right around 200 people. God bless America said he had peeled.
Yes, I saw that.
Got one back.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
and
he won, yeah. The
back, so.
Garmin GPS.
Yeah, and it was like the stuff he was saying was by far more controversial than anything we've said. You know,
Right.
And a lot of the stuff we talk about is tongue in cheek too. I mean, there's a lot of we don't take ourselves real serious, but we do take ourselves serious. And we believe what we believe, and we say what we say, and that's it.
Right.
And I think it's just ridiculous that they do this. Especially
Right.
for 202 subscribers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we're great influencers. It's not like we're, and that's pretty sad when they have to pick on somebody as small as that channel there to decide to misinformation. And one was reversed by the second time I started a new channel. But yeah, and that's it's I don't know. It's so for at least for the next 2 weeks. Well, yesterday and next week you'll be broadcasting on Facebook.
Right.
Okay, and that's another reason I threw Facebook into today's as well as Twitch, because I just thought, just in case, because sometimes we talk about stuff, but God, I mean, my channel is full of misinformation simply because I don't take this channel serious.
Hey,
this is just
your channel's full of misfits. I mean, look at
that's
me.
right. Yeah. But anyway, so that's part of the reason I did that. Mr. B, welcome to the show, and One Vision Aerials, Dustin.
That
Glad
would
to
be
see
Michael.
you. Mr. B is Michael.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's
and
one of my toffee winners.
Okay. Yeah. And don't worry, guys. The prizes are getting ready to be, I'm getting ready to take care of all that. I said it'd be after the first of the year. And another note, one of my cousins passed away this morning. So, and we'd known since about Friday that it's actually my cousin-in-law, but he's been in this family as long as anybody, a lot longer than others. And we had back 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, we went down to New Mexico, which is where they live, and went and saw my sister because we knew that her time was probably it'd be the last time I'd get to see her, and it was the last time I saw her alive. I talked to her quite a bit after that, but it's the last time I saw her alive. And so while we were down there, we visited with a lot of our relatives, and Carl was just the nicest guy. Big old, just a big old boy that just kind-hearted. He was a soft-spoken guy,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I feel bad for my cousin because, it's her husband that passed away. She, in the last, I think, just over a year or maybe a year and a half, has buried her son, her mother, and now her husband.
Oh.
Her son. Hey, Max, there. So
Yeah, hey, Max.
her son was driving home from work and apparently fell asleep or had a seizure or something. He was very high functioning autistic, but and he drove back and forth to work, and he fell asleep and ran head on into a semi truck.
Oh.
And he was killed, and he was 32.
Oh.
And then just a month ago, my aunt, the last of the Mendenhall aunts, passed away. Just between Christmas or between Thanksgiving and Christmas, she passed away, and that was my cousin Carrie. It was her mother. And so now she let everybody know Friday that hospice had been called in, and I think when their son died, because it was right after that, he just started getting sicker and sicker, and I think he just died of a broken heart. Because he doted on his boy, and
right.
It. So, anyways, that's enough of a bummer about that. So, but so that's kind of what's been going on this weekend. Why I haven't been 100%, because I knew this was coming, and I got the call this morning from my brother that he had passed away. So. And because of our health and everything, because it's so far down there, we won't be going to the funeral, obviously.
And I wanted to share something. This is what Ken just got in the mail. He finally checked his mailbox, And
finally
he got
checked
my
it.
Christmas card
Got your
along with
Christmas card.
my Artco sticker.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, good. At least he
That
got
was-
it. Of course, it's probably been sitting there since like the end of
Yeah.
November, and he just hadn't checked his mailbox.
Mhm.
And that reminds me, I'm gonna let's see if I can do this. Where did I put it? There we go. I'm gonna just put myself up on
Oh.
full screen.
Is that your new CPAP machine?
No, that's not my new CPAP machine. There we go. That is one of the droids from Star Wars. That's a full-size droid that my son printed on his 3D printer.
Oh, cool.
And he's printed that one. He's got a smaller one there. And but anyways, that's he sent that to me today. We've been talking. Let's see. Why am I over here now? There we go. Put it back where it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. God bless it. Came up at 4 a.m. where the driver of the car fell asleep crossing the center line and hit a half a semi head on and sheared the vehicle in half. Passengers survived. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dustin, my son has been getting into the Star Wars thing lately. He's printing that one. I think that's one he sent a picture of it sitting in his chair. He's got a chair very similar to this one, and it sits up about this high in the chair with its legs sticking out front, like about the size of a kid, you know?
Oh, like me.
Yeah. Maybe a little shorter than you, but not much. But he got a resin 3D printer so he was running the resin 3D printer and two others. He took mine over to do an upgrade, and we talked about it this afternoon. It looks like I'm going to be buying a new one because for whatever reason, this and I knew when I first started using it that I was having problems. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the show, Mark Sullivan. Judy, I just saw Judy I monitor Judy over here on my other monitor here because I saw her getting up and I thought, you better not. That's another thing that happened this weekend. Judy had a bad fall Friday.
Yeah.
And they're called TV trays, they're little wood tables that fold up and you can, they're small ones. And we had the ones that are made out of wood, and they're pretty well made. They're pretty solid. And for whatever reason, a screw popped loose and the whole thing just folded up on her. And it had stuff sitting on her. She went down, hit the floor. Table fell on her. Other stuff that was on the table fell on her. Yeah, it was a mess. And she was banged up pretty good this weekend. But so I'm keeping an eye on her over here in the other monitor.
Okay.
This is life with old people. It's what we got to deal with. You either falling down, breaking hip, or dying. It's one of those three things.
Well, you need a mesh net around the bed.
I know. Well, I'm seriously thinking. I'm thinking of building a rail system that goes from the bed to the door frame, and then around the door frame to the rail that goes in front of because it's a very small bathroom, and it's only maybe 10. It's probably not 5 feet.
Bigger than a telephone booth.
Not much. The bathrooms. The bathroom's about the size of 3 phone booths side by side.
Yeah.
One phone booth is a shower that doesn't work. It needs to be rebuilt. Then you got the counter, and then you got the commode or the toilet or the privy, whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
Where I work, we have a handicap stall, and then we have a regular stall, and then 3 urinals. And evidently, once in a while, when I need to go, the handicap stall is taken.
Yeah.
So I gotta go in the regular, stall, and it's like a phone booth. I'm like, holy crap, this is small.
Yeah. Well, back when I first went into the wheelchair, when my MS was really at its peak, when it was really slamming me. I'd go into, you'd go into these bathrooms and they'd have a handicap sticker on them, on the main door, and then you have to push the door open. You have to turn a knob. Well, if you don't have good control with the hand, they didn't all
Yeah.
have levers, So
Mhm.
you try and get that, and then you get it open. It only opens part way, and you're trying to get a wheelchair in this damn thing. And what you end up doing is drop. What I ended up having to do more than once because it got. I eventually started using what's called a Texas catheter or external catheter because there weren't times we'd be out. I just couldn't get into them damn bathrooms. Either that or I'd drop on the floor and drag myself across and then pull myself up on the toilet. I had a lot of good upper body strength at that time. But I'm telling you what, those handicap bathrooms, a lot of them they are the handicap.
Mhm. But you know what? I love the chrome handlebars because you know what? I could do backflips. It's like the Olympics. You know?
I knew where you were going to go with that. I was trying to get that drink down before you finish it. Yeah. Let's see. What did the doe say when she came out of the woods? I'll never do that for $2. Somebody's continuing the theme from last night because after you left, Uncle Bill, it went off the rails, but not like it usually does. It was like who could tell the worst joke, the worst dad joke?
Yeah.
It was like he started out reading his dad jokes too book. He started reading off of that, and then other people and Don. Well, he came up with some of the more twisted and dark ones. Let's say.
Oh, what?
Speaking of the devil, look who just popped in. I'm using handicap stalls. I have enough room to put my feet up. Here you go. Speaking of Don, he just he was and I got to admit, Judy was asleep, and I'm sorry, but those guys got me laughing. And the bed started. Judy says, "What in the hell are you doing over there?" I said, "I'm laughing at these idiots on this show. They're telling some of the worst jokes, but they're so damn funny." I'll be back.
I know, Don. I know all about that feeling. Yeah.
So I'll be.
My feet don't touch the floor
Oh my God!
when I use those handicap toilets.
Did you see what he just put up there? What Barkley just put up? No, that's not it. No, it's God bless America. I'll be back. My wife wants to get pregnant. You want to get in line? Okay. All right. My female dog hit my wife, and we both knew she had to go. Okay. Oh, bit my wife. Let's see. I'm going to miss my wife. Okay, there's the punchline. There's the punchline.
You know what? I got a ticket because my dog chased a kid on a bike. My dog doesn't even own a bike.
Own a bike, yeah. And that's the way the show was last night. They were just like, oh my God. And of course, then they were given our favorite, I don't know if you call him a co-host or the tray host, because he's the third host. Dominic, yeah. They were giving him crap about that all night last night. So,
Yeah.
But it was a funny show, and Don never ceases to amaze me, And Don, I would file a official complaint with your family about them not letting you know those secrets that until you were well into your grown years. I would file. I don't know who you complain to, but I'd file an official complaint with them. Hello, Jim's droning.
Yeah, hey Jim.
And let's see.
Oh, and did you say hi to Dustin?
I did say hi to Dustin at least once. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good show last night, and I was going to talk about something tonight.
I hadn't been on there for a while.
Yeah, it'd been a while since you'd been on. Well, it hadn't been that long.
I normally go to bed around 7:30, so I can get up at 2:30.
Well, I was so tired yesterday because Judy had fallen and she was having a really bad weekend, and she was hurting a lot, and so she was waking me up a lot during the night.
Mm-hmm.
To help, and it was like so. Then yesterday, she woke up Saturday night and wanted, we get those Jimmy Dean's breakfast bowls. Yeah,
Right.
they're especially good to have right now because I still haven't replaced our stovetop. I've got to do that sometime in the next week or two because I may actually want to cook, But the microwave's doing this right now. But so
Mm.
I was up with her, and then yesterday morning I did submit a complaint. I just didn't want to put it where they told me to file. USA Drone Flyer Captain Joe
Yeah, hey
America.
Joe. Yep.
Glad to have you on board. But yeah, I know.
Do finish.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I got sidetracked there. Yeah. So yesterday morning, at about 6:45, she wakes me up and says, "I want you to go to the store and get me a breakfast bowl." I looked at the clock and I said, "All right," because I'd put her off 2 times during the night. So, the stores
Mm-hmm.
aren't open. Well, 7 o'clock on Sunday morning, those stores were open. So I got up, dragged my butt to bed, and
Okay. All right. Who wants to? Did somebody already bump this guy out?
that guy is on Twitch. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so let me see.
Yeah, because I'm not a moderator there. Anyway,
Yeah.
wanted to
So
say I had elk burger tonight for dinner with fried onions and mushrooms. Oh boy, was it so good! I did something different tonight. Normally I put it on 2 slices of bread because I'm cheap. What I did was, first thing I did is I put butter in the pan and heated that up and threw the one slice on there, got toasted on one side. And I took that off and toasted the other one. So I've got 2 buns that are toasted, nice and crunchy and buttery. And then I put the mushrooms and onions
hello,
and
Charles.
started sauteing there. And then I put the burger in last. And boy, was that good.
That sounds good. That actually
That
sounds
was
better
really
than what I'm
good.
gonna have.
You know,
Yeah.
elk is so delicious. It tastes so much like beef.
Yeah, it does, and it's just it's also a little bit leaner,
Yeah, a
if I'm
little
not
bit.
mistaken.
Well,
And I
these
know
guys, they put a little bit of fat in there.
tallow.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, yeah, we had a place over there in Grand Junction where he used to take all of our, you know, wild game to, and he both the deer and the elk he put tallow in there, and that helped with the deer because mule deer are known to
Oh, yeah.
have a lot of sage flavor to them, because
Yeah.
that's
That's what
depending on
they.
depending on the season and whether they eat a lot of
Mhm.
sage. It also depends on how you field dress it, whether if
Yeah.
you drag it through the sagebrush while
Yeah,
it's after
that's
you field
right.
dress it, you're going to get sage flavored. Moose is also yummy. Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
think I told
haven't
that last.
tried moose yet.
I remember as a kid, my uncle came down from Canada, and he brought moose. I didn't know what it was.
Ooh.
We went over to my grandma's house. All my cousins there. He
Mm.
had like six
Hey,
kids,
Rocky.
and grandma fixed this roast, and I wasn't a big roast fan back then,
Mm.
but I ate it. I took. I've had bison too. Yes.
Yep, I had that. Yep, that's good.
But I
I have a friend that's a
anyway.
bison rancher.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hmm. His
Yeah.
name's Bob Beaupre,
Why does that name sound familiar? Bob Beaupre.
former congressman
Yeah, that's it.
from
Okay.
Colorado. Yeah,
Yeah.
ran for Senate and governor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wish
and we
I
got
want to offer
Charles
promotion to your
Hatney.
channel.
Let's say hello to him.
Uh, your choice and quality of a fisheye promotion guaranteed. Okay, that one will allow. Yeah, that one.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. That one.
Mhm.
Most of the gravel was in the deer when you got to your truck. Yeah,
there you go.
Whoops, I did it
Mhm.
again. All right, there we go. Yeah.
Well,
I
what you
have-
do is you take a couple poles with you, and you make a dragger with that. And that way you don't have to, drag your whatever your meat is, deer,
Well,
elk, or whatever.
if you can't find if you ain't got a couple holes, one big Swede will work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one big
I was waiting for it to
Swede, yeah.
sink in. Yeah.
Yep.
Can't find a couple of poles, use a big Swede. That'll work.
Mhm.
Okay, enough of the
Yeah, the Swedes aren't as
Insulting.
reluctant as Poles.
yeah. But yeah. Anyways, I was wondering if you were going to catch that. It looked like it took a second for it to drop, for
Yeah,
the
it
penny
did.
to drop there. So yeah. Yeah. See, you bought a deer sled. Well, my buddy and I shot a deer up. Uh, she's a big old doe and is up in the hills, and we had walked quite a ways away from the truck, and my dad and brother were with us, and so they had gone one direction, we'd gone the other, and we'd waited all day in this little valley waiting for a deer to come down because we'd seen where it was bedded down, had been bedded down, and was up moving around, and it wasn't an extremely hot day, it wasn't extremely cold, so they were up moving around a little bit, eating and stuff, and so we were waiting until evening for them to come down and water, and sure enough, I managed to get this big old doe. Well, by that point, we kind of forgot which way we'd come down. But we knew if we walked up, we were going to be, because we were down into a big draw where there was a stream running through it. We walked up, we'd be on the ridge, and then we'd just keep walking until we got higher, and that we knew basically that's where the road was. So, well, we traded off carrying this damn deer over our shoulder. We'd carry it together, and then one of us would take it, and then the other would take it, and we just kept dragging, carrying it because we didn't want to drag it through the brush. So finally, he said, "I'm going to go up there and get your brother to come down and help us." He said, "and get the truck maybe a little closer," because we knew where the truck was parked. And I said, "Okay." Well, I'm sitting there and I'm going, and the sun was going down. It was starting to get dark, and it was fixing to get cold. And I'm thinking, he takes off, but he didn't bother to come back. He went up there and got in the truck, got warmed up, and then started honking the horn for my dad and brother to show up because they hadn't made it back yet either. Well, they show up, want to know what's going on. And so they come walking down. Well, by that time, before I thought this guy's taking too long. So I finally picked the damn thing up, threw it on my shoulder, and started walking up the hill. Got to where I knew I could go. Finally got up, and I could hear the horn up there a ways away. But I didn't know how far. So I ended up taking and tying a line around the feet of that deer, tossed it up in the tree and pulled it up and then tied it off and left it hanging in the tree, then just walked straight towards the sound. And just as I got there, they were coming down the road. And so then we had to look for where I hung it in the tree in the dark. So we got our flashlights out and we finally found it. And, it wasn't that far, but I'm telling you what, that was the longest damn hike I'd ever made with a deer on my back. And I was ready to kill my friend. What the hell? Why didn't you come back? Well, I kind of forgot where I left you. Really?
Yeah.
You didn't mark the path?
Leave, a map.
Yeah, didn't you?
breadcrumbs?
Mark the path. Break a few branches, and because you know how to mark trails when you're supposed to know. And it's like, oh, I forgot. I was in such a hurry, and I was getting cold, and I wanted to get in the truck, get warmed up. I said, well, what the hell about
Was he
me?
one of the poles?
He was one of the poles, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was a kind of knobhead anyways, because he ended up the next year getting busted for poaching.
Oh,
And
boy, that's not good.
Yeah, well, not only did he shoot a deer not only did he poach, him and his friend poached 2 deers. Well, him and another of my friends, they poached 2 deers during elk season. Then they went back to the same spot and poached 2 more.
Oh boy.
And it just so happened, of course, then they had all the blood soaked, there was a bunch of blood soaked rags in the back of their truck. Well, the game ranger was on to them and already knew where they were from. He'd seen them the week before, but couldn't catch up with them, but was able to run their vehicle. So he just waited to see if, he just happened, that was his area to patrol. It's like, he was like, what's wrong with you guys? It's bad enough you poached 2 deer during deer season, but now you came back a week later into the same spot? That's not really bright. And they're like, well,
Yeah.
Okay, they were seniors in high school, or juniors in high school.
Oh boy.
And,
my friend Rick Enstrom used to be a commissioner on the Wildlife Game Board here in Colorado.
Moose and Goose.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah,
He really gets hacked off when he sees those poaching articles, especially here in Colorado. Oh boy. I don't blame him.
Oh, look, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finally here.
Yeah, yay.
Yeah.
I've had to deal with a few other things at the moment, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Everything good with you?
Oh yeah, just brushing up on a few qualifications and adding a few extras. So
You're lying on your resume? Is that what you were saying when you said adding a few extras?
yeah.
There you go.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Ooh, speaking of lying, I was talking to Lloyd before the show. Well, state representative here in Colorado has resigned because she lied about her residency.
No.
Because she ran for re-election House District 12, which is more Democratic than because we had redistricting. And so she rented an apartment in Louisville. Well, she doesn't live there. And she lives in Longmont, which is in another district. So now she's facing felony charges.
Well, it takes all kinds.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's like these 2 idiots that they ended up losing their guns. They ended up with felony charges, so they couldn't have their guns anymore.
Yeah. They can't hunt.
And they can't hunt. Nope.
Mhm.
And then they went to their houses and took all the deer out of their freezers because they didn't know which ones were the poached ones and which ones weren't. They confiscated it all.
Oh man.
Their dads,
Oh,
I know
I
the
bet.
one. Oh yeah,
boy.
because that was like because like the one 2 of them had older brothers. Hello, Bill from Coast to Coast Drones.
Hey Bill. Coast
Hey,
Coast
Bill.
Drones.
I'm telling you what, man, those kids were in. I know the one. He come to school with a black eye. His dad was a pretty rough old boy. This was back in the days when you could actually spank your kids, And I am a Canadian American. I want to be an American president. Why not? I got to tell you a story. I'm just
Watch out. Sit back.
It's from a friend of ours that here, but he has a couple of cousins that are now new American citizens and have been for a few years, but they're from Australia, and they came back to Australia over the Christmas holidays, and they were so excited to talk about the fact that they finally got to vote in an election this last year. And this friend says to him, he says to his cousin, he says, you didn't have to become an American citizen just so you could vote in that election, don't you? And their reaction was, he goes, enough said. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you
Mhm.
could be an American president, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You could say you were born, if you could just get the right person to write the right paperwork, you could say you were born on an American base in Canada to American citizens, and then you could
Ooh,
become
yeah.
president.
Oh, that's
You
how
know?
John McCain became citizen. He
It
was
is.
born in
Yeah.
Panama.
Panama, yeah.
Yep.
But his
Which,
father
by the way, at the time
was
a protectorate of the United
protector,
States.
yeah.
It wasn't a territory, was it? Well, it might have been a commonwealth. I don't.
I think it was. I think it was still. I think it was a protectorate, but yeah. Yeah, you'll see a lot. As Mickey McCage talking about, has anyone spotlighted the cornfields? Yeah, it's frowned upon, but you know, especially you can spotlight them to do photographs, but you can't spotlight them with your loaded rifle.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of frown on that.
Yeah.
Sort of like throwing a hand grenade into the lake,
Yeah.
you know, to do your fishing,
or a
you
stick
know,
of dynamite. Yeah.
or a stick of dynamite,
Mhm.
or an old-fashioned crank telephone.
Ooh, yeah.
Those are good too.
Yeah. Very shocking.
Yeah, I know in
Well, in fact-
Oklahoma you can't, you know, anything after sundown here. I think you got 30 minutes after sundown, official time of sundown, which is dusk, dusky dark. That's the end of the hunting day.
Yeah, same here in Colorado.
Yeah,
I think it's right when it gets dark. And
yeah. I
that's it.
think the official is 30
Right,
minutes
well, you-
after. Ah,
Hey,
Tar
we
Heel.
got Tar
Ariel's
Heel.
welcome.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Because
so,
at
and
one time I went hunting on Rick's ranch down southeast Colorado. We just waited and waited out in that cold and that blind. It was nice to be in the blind, at least kept cold air off. But we waited and waited, and we finally saw some deer, but they were too far away. And by the time they got close enough to shoot, it got dark.
okay, I'm sitting. Yeah, it's we my
Hi,
got
Dustin.
4 tabs opened up here, so if I get confused, just because I'm trying to get back to the one that's the StreamYard live chat. I was checking some of the other chats just to make sure, and I got lost. I got too much crap opened up. Anyways, yeah. Anybody else that's come in? People squawk about gunshots in my area. God bless crossbows. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
And I've got Judy and I both have crossbows, and
I like to get one to have it set up for fishing, kind of like bow fishing.
yeah, bow fishing, yeah. I have one that you could, of course, it was set up to initially pull, you know, it has a mechanism to pull it, but I added a hand crank to mine so I could just
Yeah.
and set it that way. It's just a lot easier for me,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. See, I can't pull.
Compound
The
bows.
problem,
Okay.
yeah, I can't pull back a compound bow. I don't have the
Hey,
strength.
Max.
Yeah, you know, with the paralysis I had on the left hand and atrophy still in that, and the destroyed tricep back here from a A10 Gatling, Gal 8 30 millimeter Gatling gun, you know, that kind of, I have no strength in my right arm to do much pulling. So, and anyways, but yeah. Plus, I'm getting too damn old, and I don't hunt anymore. I'll be honest with you. Last time we went was about, I think Judy and I went, about 5 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Hey,
6 now. And I decided that, well, especially with my new van that's got the heated seats and all that,
Mm-hmm.
I can just get in that, drive up to the grocery store and buy a pound of hamburger there, rather than sitting out freezing my butt off in a tent in the middle of a cornfield, you know, to try and get a glimpse at a deer. let alone get a shot at one, so. But, and Judy gave her rifle to our oldest son, and my rifle's going to go to Patrick.
What kind of rifle? What cal?
It's a 243. Both of them were 243s, yeah, 243s.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
I mean they're nice.
You can
they're
handle
nice
that.
rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
my dad built a 6mm Remington on a Mouse Ratchet.
Right.
On a Mesquite stock. Beautiful gun.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I've got an old 8mm Mauser that is.
There you go.
But the problem is finding the rounds for them now. You know, 8mm.
Just go to a gun show and you'll find some.
Yeah. Because we got.
And if you're into reloading, you can get the brass and.
Well,
I
gave
8mm by what, 57?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That'd probably be about as big a round I would want to shoot for myself. I mean, that's big enough to take down a deer and an elk and possibly a moose.
Well, when I first started the first year I went out deer hunting, my brother had my dad had a 30-30 bolt action Savage and Woodstock, and which he eventually gave to me, and my son has that now. James has that, and he's gone through and put new sights on it, and
cool.
completely rebuilt it. But that first year I hunted with my brother's 303 British because he just bought him a. He just bought him a. That first year, you already got him in there. With my brother's 303 British because he just he bought him. I'm hearing.
That's a rookie.
Yeah, it's coming from Ron.
Rookie moves.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
How are you?
Get lost there. I was hearing myself. Yeah, we're actually talking about hunting, but yeah, I hunted the first year with the 303 British that my brother has sporterized in because he just bought a 7mm Magnum with Redfield scope, and it was a Remington, and God, that thing kicked like a friggin' mule.
I bet.
That 7mm. That's like, why in God's name would But it's it was his first year back from Vietnam, and he wanted something that would shoot, and he had that old 303 that he'd rebuilt. So that first year I went out hunting with him.
Hey, Joe.
I got to I carried his 303, which was a sweet little rifle. 303 British or Enfield, I guess is what British Enfield, and it was nice. So how you doing, Ron? Did you come to save my show?
Yeah. I come to save your show. I just come in to say hi. I just got in a little bit ago. I was out line hunting today. Got nothing more than a corneal abrasion, I think. Had a branch slap me in the face, and
ow.
Yeah. Snow was a little deep, deeper than I thought. I stepped in a few places that, okay, I'm up to my waist now. This is not good.
Yeah, that's probably a little deep. Yeah. So, have you gone to the hunting that you're going to Alaska, right, for a bear camp? That's in the springtime, though, right?
Yeah, I'm going back
or
to Alaska
summer?
in June. Prior to, and Lloyd, you remember? I've had him on your show a couple of times. I was at my buddy's place. My friend he's a retired veteran on oxygen.
Yeah. We were talking about that. Yeah.
I really felt bad that I made the mistake of, how do I say, introducing him to this situation, thinking he was coming along. And then as things turned out, it's not going to happen. I'm flying into Anchorage, Alaska in May, the end of May.
Right. Okay.
He's supposed to come with me. From Anchorage, it's a 4 or 5 hour car ride over to, or actually a little bit west and primarily south, to a little town called Homer, Alaska.
Oh. Mhm.
From there, we were actually going to get in a day or two early and then fly from Homer it's like a 8-seater plane, like
Right.
one of those
Mhm.
bush planes.
Right. Right.
A campground in down near Kodiak Island. It's a campground, and it has the highest population of coastal brown bears in the whole state. The whole
Right.
trip is nothing more than photography. No hunting, no
Right.
fishing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I have made, you have no idea how many phone calls I have made through the organization that runs the operation, the air service from Homer to the base camp to whatever. But long story short, the air service legally cannot carry the amount of oxygen bottles and the oxygen concentrator that he needs to be down there.
Oh.
So my only screw up in the whole thing, I wish I would have done the homework prior to, before I sent a thing to him, because I got his hopes up here. Now they're down to here. So what has happened in the past 3-4 days is this has actually been scheduled for me for about a month. I'm actually going to Canada the end of May, 2 weeks prior to the Alaska trip, for an actual bear hunt.
Oh, okay.
This outfitter is in Manitoba. He has very modernized, cabins and a house, and anyhow, we're actually going to drive the whole trip. So my boss said to me, he goes, Ron, why don't you take Don on the Canada bear hunt? At least he'll have somewhat, it's not the Alaska bear photography trip, but it's something.
Right. Yeah.
And so I called him, I talked to him. He is 100% in. And I'm going to do everything I can. I told him all the thing he has to do. I said, do me a favor, just drive to Dickinson, North Dakota. I'm getting off of work 2 days prior. I will meet you. We will stay overnight. We're driving to Fargo, which is on the eastern side of North Dakota. We're meeting my buddy from Pennsylvania. We'll all drive up together. We'll all meet there together. They'll have a cabin for you. They'll have electricity for you for your machine. They'll put them in a ground blind. So he's going to actually, he's a big hunter. So he'll be he'll be well taken care of. He'll be safe. So
excellent.
So,
cool. I'm glad it worked out. We talked about that last time you was on. I think after the show, maybe.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit during the show, but we talked about it more after the show. So yeah, well, I'm glad that it worked out for him. And it worked out for you because and bless you for doing it, man. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't go the extra mile to drag some old geezer along that's
he keeps saying that. He's like, Ron, I'm going to be a pain. I'm like, no, stop it. I said, you are my friend, and you're coming with me. I'm taking you bear hunting. Period.
And that's what friends do, and that's the reality of it. That's what friends do, and that just shows it shows the metal you're made of, and good for you, Ron, and I'm good for him. I'm glad he's going to get to go.
His daughter actually called me last night. She was crying.
Oh, I could imagine. Yeah, I could imagine.
She was like, I can't believe you're doing this. Hey, he's my buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's been on the show a couple of times. It's always a pleasure to have him on,
I'm going to bring him on again sometime soon if that's okay.
Absolutely. He's always welcome on the show.
Yeah.
Anything to keep this show alive, because there's some days that
then we don't have to see
Art and I don't. Yeah, well, Art and I don't get to talk as much because Dominic's always running his mouth,
Yeah.
Always. Yep. Always.
He talks so damn much that Art and I don't get in word in edgewise.
Exactly.
Dominic, did you see I pulled a Dominic the other night?
Right.
Yeah. Old geezer like me. I had this young little honey with me. I was working the ambulance the other night. Whose show was I on? Matt North.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of the young girl. Yeah.
Everybody's like, how you doing? You know,
Yeah.
little blonde sitting spin doll. Yeah, she was
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that one. And I was actually going to watch his show. I can't remember what happened.
Yeah.
I think I may have fallen asleep before,
Ooh.
and yeah, before I got
Well,
on.
I was watching another show.
Yeah. Shame on you.
Yeah.
And then I was
Shame
out.
on you.
I was out drinking, and
You were, yeah, that's
listening
what
to
you were
some
doing. That's
live
right.
rock and roll.
I actually intended to go, because I was actually going to get on and give Matt a bunch of crap, and no, I know what had happened. Judy had fallen a couple hours before the show started, and I was dealing with her at that time, and she banged herself up pretty good. She is, the most she gets is a bunch of bruises, but she was walking from the bed to the bathroom, and she was leaning on one of these folding tables, and one screw. That's all it took. The one screw popped loose, and when it did, it just all, fell apart. Because it's a folding table, so the one screw was on a pressure point, and it had been fine. It was made out of wood, but it just stripped that screw out, and I've actually found it on the floor yesterday, and it's like, woman, I'm going to have to, so what I'm thinking about doing is building a handrail that goes from the wall, comes out, and is right next to her bedside table, her hospital bedside table, and then she can use it, and it'll be on the floor, she can use it to get to the door frame, and then I'll have a rail on the wall in the bathroom. I mean, it's probably not more than 5 feet that she has to walk to get there, but with her balance off sometimes, that's Parkinson's. That's what you got to deal with. And plus, she's so damn stubborn. She won't ask for help, or she won't stay in bed like I tell her. And some of this was my fault, because she's been doing so well about not falling here lately that I got a little slack and didn't have her monitor brought up on my phone as I was driving across town, or I'd have just whipped around and come back and got it. But yeah, instead she got up and decided to, I don't know.
Where did she learn that?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know where she gets these stubborn ideas, but I'm telling you what, she's fortunately, even though she might be able to see that we're on, I didn't turn the volume up on my iPad in the other room, so she can't hear what I'm saying about her. But yeah, she. That's what I was doing Friday night.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was drinking a lot of peanut butter whiskey.
Oh, that's good stuff. I had some of that. They're actually selling that in Sturgis last year. I bought a bottle of it. Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody has been talking about it, and
it's called Screwball.
Yeah.
Well, and I think Don at Mudball Creators is talking about getting some liqueur, some chocolate liqueur, and putting with it, making like a peanut butter and like Reese's peanut butter cup drink. And I'm going, I haven't touched hard liquor in right at 40 years now.
Yeah. Don't get started,
God, well, I'm not. Nope. But God, they sure was making it sound good. Like, oh my God, because I love peanut butter and chocolate. It's just a given. Those are my two favorite things. And I'm thinking that's all I need is, a Reese's,
that one
Reese's
thing
whiskey,
and have a relapse.
Yeah, a relapse.
Then you and your wife will both be on the floor.
Yeah. No, I haven't touched hard liquor in it's been 40 years now. Let's see.
Well, in a couple weeks
39 anyways, I know, because it was right after January. I got drunk on New Year's Eve, and that's when she I made an ass of myself, and that's when she put her foot down while I was puking in the toilet, and I remembered it the next day because she reminded me.
I'm sure she did.
Yes.
Well, hopefully, the beginning of February, the weekend of the 4th, I got called Rodney tomorrow. Rodney Bell, Dennis Lovelady, and hopefully Paul Drumbaum.
Cool.
Hope to get to meet them guys again, meet up with them. I'm going back to Pennsylvania to the Sportsman's Show.
Ooh.
And the first time I did that was 3 or 4 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Yeah. Then we all went down to Philly Mike's down in Philly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that
Speaking
line.
of Rodney Bell,
Mhm.
speaking of Rodney Bell, he's coming to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
This, and we're hoping, if he'll be. I think he said between the. I'll have to look again, but I think it's between the 15th and the 20th. He's coming to see his mom, I guess.
Yeah.
And because she lives in Tulsa, and so we're going to try and meet up again. But we're going to try and do some flying this time. So I got to make sure my Avata batteries are charged.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Avata.
Rodney, good man. I really like. The funny thing is with Rodney is we have this standing joke. We met in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's actually the first time we physically met.
Right.
And where I was staying and where him and Dennis and Paul were all staying was about an hour away. Back in my hometown area where I spent 20 years outside of Philly.
Right.
So we leave the Sportsman's Show and we get back to Coatesville, Pennsylvania. I'm like, guys, I got the perfect place to go eat. So we go back to where they were staying, and my buddy lives like 5 minutes away from them. So we all meet up, and I'm like, we're going to Harry's Hot Dogs, this place that make the best hot dogs in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And when you buy so many, they give you like 4 extra. So we had like 30 hot dogs out in front of us with this. They're really good with mustard and ground beef sauce and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You're literally like a week after Rodney went home was when he had his major heart attack and ended up having bypass surgery. So Rodney blames me. He's like, Ron, you caused my bypass surgery.
Yeah. I knew he blamed you for that. Yeah. Well, he was down here a couple of, I think just the last spin up. He stopped here on his way down. He'd come down to visit his mom, and then came down here, and we spent the day, and we live streamed from the barbecue joint over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went back up, and then drove the rest of the way down to the. He drove down to
Austin?
Austin. Yeah, Austin. I couldn't remember where it was at. I knew it wasn't Dallas, so it must have been Austin. And then he flew from Austin on back home. So, but yeah, what you see is what you get, man. He is what he is. There's no pretense. There's nothing, I was, and the fact, and one of the things is his cousin was in the same graduating class as Judy. And they graduated from Will Rogers High School in Tulsa in 1970. And so, she was supposed to graduate in 68, but she got married and then had a kid and then finally and was stationed out in California and then came back. Speaking of long lost people, help at home Jim. Hello,
hey,
glad
Jim.
to see you, man.
Hey, Jim.
Don't see him in the chat very often, but I'm always happy when I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he drops in, every so often. I appreciate it because Jim is one of the first guys I really befriended through this medium we call YouTube, and I feel bad. I'm bad about but my life with Judy gets me tied up, and I'm doing that. But Jim was my first official, what I consider a sponsor of this show. But along with a lot of other people, it's been like this is the 6th season I've been doing this now. It's like God, I have to stop and think about different people and stuff, and where are they at now, and like we've lost lost a couple of good ones throughout the time period that just
Yeah.
and if you guys, I don't know if I don't have the link available, but if you guys get a chance, check out Jim Wallace, alias
Mr. Graphic.
Mr. Graphic. Yeah,
Oh, Jim, yeah.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
Mhm.
I talked with him a couple of times this weekend. He's having a rough time of it. So
really.
Mm.
yeah, it's just he's got a lot. He's dealing with a lot of depression. It's eat more possum. Welcome,
Hey,
Hey,
Brett.
and Brent is here. Yeah.
Jim is the reason I own two of my Sony cameras. He turned me on to Sony. Jim used to have a live stream like every other day or so,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and he had the one camera. He's like, Ron, I have the Mark II or Mark One,
Yeah.
and I ended up buying the Mark IV. He's like, Ron, if you're, and he was showing me all his pictures from previous years, and I'm like, oh my,
Yeah.
and I ended up buying like the 3 upgraded models from the one he had. Oh my God. And I still have that camera today. I still brag about it. I actually have at least 3 or 4 of my friends who have bought that camera,
Right.
the same one I have, since then. And
Yeah.
then very, very happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
Cool.
I know you got a nice camera. Yeah, Jim's taken a lot of pictures in the past, but he's been dealing with a lot of depression here lately.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
I talked with him a lot on. I think I talked. I don't know if I talked with him Saturday and Sunday, or if because I talked to him a couple times this weekend. He was just having a rough time of it. So
Yeah.
I
but
miss
then
chatting when I enjoyed his live streams and
yeah. Well, for whatever reason, something happened a couple of years ago, and it kind of triggered him, and he's been fighting it ever since. So he's got a demon or two on his back that he just can't seem to shake, and it's just unfortunate. And so if nothing else, send good thoughts. Keep them in your prayers.
Speaking of cameras, this is one of the cameras I got in the grab box from the police auction website.
Yeah.
And it's
Is
a
that
Pentax
Pentax?
ZX30. This is a film camera
Film camera,
with
35
a
millimeter.
35 to 80 zoom lens on it, and it's got a pop-up flash, and it's got an LCD, readout, and a neat switch for ISO, and for
Right.
all the neat
Pentax.
little doodads.
Back in the 70s, Pentax was one of your top of the line film 35 millimeter cameras.
Yeah.
They really were,
Mhm.
And welcome, Mark R. White, I should say.
Mark
Make sure
R. White, yep.
Yeah.
Mark.
And Dustin, did
Yeah.
you say hi to Dustin?
Yes, I did. Again. Art.
Yeah. We'll say hello to Dustin again.
I am not like Uncle Bill. Telling me whether my mic's muted. I don't fall for the crap that Uncle Bill does from Max Air.
You're
that
muted,
My mic's muted.
Lloyd.
No, I'm not. And you know that I know because we've got.
Because he is muted right now, but he's back.
Boy, did I.
What did you buy into there?
Yeah, I know.
Right,
I mean, this is what happens when you give. This is what you happen when you give the little guy the power to run things.
Yep. There you go, Mike. There's your mistake. Yep.
Yep. I gave the little guy too much power. Yeah, mute Max. Yeah. I do have a little echo. Let's see if I can. It's been a while. So, anyways, Max.
Bite me.
How about that, Echo? Echo. Where's
Charles
Crypto
in here?
Man? 5,000!
Hello, Charles Golowski. Hello, Charles. Ever since I lost this eye tooth, I can't see what I'm saying properly. But hey, I'm getting a new one this year. I'm getting
Oh,
a new,
that's good.
yeah,
Are you going to be
in,
like that guy from the Muppets and have a silver one right there?
No, I got
You
a
get-
couple gold one already. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Why would I go for silver when I can get gold?
Oh,
You know?
there you go. Get a gold one with the diamond in. Hey, there's Sean. Hey,
Hi,
Sean.
Sean.
Hey, Sean. Wow. Yeah, it has been a long time since you came into my stream, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, guess who
Appreciate it.
came to my stream the other night?
Who's that?
Geek Spawner.
Yeah,
Oh,
And he
yeah.
gave me a bunch of super chats.
that's good.
Yeah. There's another. There's another Sean that's good. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's three Seans that are all very good people. There's, you know, Sean from World of Oz. There's Sean from Geeksvana, and there's Sean Ives.
Yep.
John Ides. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beware the Ides of March.
You'll be
Art, you do
Yeah.
a live stream this past Saturday?
Yes, I did.
I said, so many Saturdays I'm working.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with us working, folks. I work every other week, and then plus my part-time job, I'm working on the weekends, and
Yeah, you know, that way you stand out.
There you go.
Of course, but then they might get you confused with all of these Aussies that are around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Eh,
Drone by Oz and who's that?
Yeah.
Beach
Yeah.
Bum by Oz or
that is
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah. Working sucks. Yes. Yeah.
It does.
I don't
Yep.
know, man. I am retired,
Yeah.
and
yeah, photography is
in-
another Sean.
Yeah.
First
Okay,
of all,
White just put it in.
Mhm.
I keep working.
Yeah, there's Trevor. Aussie. See?
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Oh man. So yeah, retirement is not what it's cracked up to be because you know, especially you know, my retirement is good. I can't complain. It pays the bills. It gives me money to waste on stuff like this and other things. But I can't work overtime, which means I can't.
Yeah,
I want something
that's-
extra. I can't put in an extra few hours a week to get, you know, like, oh well, if I worked an extra 10 hours overtime, get time and a half, you know, I can pay for that new 3D printer that I want, you know.
Yep.
I did that this month. I worked from December 16th through January. I just come home Wednesday, whatever day that was, the 3rd or something like that. I was gone almost a whole month.
Wow.
But I paid for my Alaska trip, and yeah.
I bet the deer miss you. They miss
Yeah.
corn.
Oh, the deer here were pissed. They were
I bet.
Oh, they were. And, you know, the funny thing is, Art, funny you mentioned that. It took about 4 days, 4 or 5 days. Like, finally, tonight, they're like, oh, shit, Ron's home. I had 14 of them out here tonight.
Oh,
It
Yeah, you
took
get them spoiled.
one. Yeah, for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Did you see that video I sent you about the guy that has the deer that come into his garage?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Feeds him corn just like you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty similar. Yeah.
Yeah, Sean, you're Oz with two Z's. Yeah, Jim, there's been a lot of talk about the remote ID right now, and I saw this last night. It doesn't go into effect until the 16th of September of 2023.
Yep.
And right now, the only DJI drone that actually has it, and that's if you do the software upgrades, and if you're Part 107, you have to, and that is the Avata.
Avada, yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
I'm not Part 107, nor do I ever intend to be, so I haven't done the upgrade. Yes, Max, at some point DJI does suck when they force you to do that.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and the only thing it means is if you do the upgrade now, you got to have a cable hooked to your phone as hooked to your goggles so that they can see where you are at. Like, what, they
Mhm.
couldn't see where your friggin' drone's at? I guess they need to know where you are at because
Yeah,
my
Max,
my
the DJI fan. Just kidding.
yeah, Max is such a DJI fan, I can tell, you know. Yeah. Speaking of shows that might have information about drones
Yeah, I was
that you
just going
might
to
want,
say, Drone Nation has
Yeah.
started.
Drone Nation has started. We have
So
gone
everybody wants to go
overtime.
over there.
So
Mhm.
if everybody wants to run over there and check them out and see a real drone show instead of listening to us BS about not much, it is enabled on the Mavic 3, on the Mini 3 as well. Yeah, plugs into the goggles, cross. There's no GPS in the goggles. Yeah,
Mhm.
which maybe that's what the new Goggles 2 Plus is going to be. Maybe they're going to reintroduce the Goggles 2 with GPS in it so you don't have to hook up your phone. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, have at home, Jim. We can join together and lobby DJI to add RID compliance to a lot more drones. You'll have to you'd have to buy a module
Yeah.
to put. And right now, and this is the thing, right now there are no modules that are currently available that are, well,
Small enough.
there's one module, yeah. Yeah, if you want to pay $500 and put something that looks like a pack of cigarettes on top of your drone, it's available, but there's not any practical ones out there yet. And some are saying that they may push the deadline back. It would be nice if they just grandfathered in a lot of these drones. I think they should, but
Mhm.
we don't want to run into Amazon drones that are delivering Ken Hare and his tube socks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah, that's currently they're trying to. Nobody's developed a module to add to the current drones that would allow for GPS tracking of the and
Mhm.
or for the remote ID, and I don't understand that because, all right, if they've got the remote ID built into the Avata drone, why do we have to have the friggin' phone attached to the goggles? If they're going to add a module, are they going to add a module that hooks to your controllers or hooks to your goggles and then hooks to your drone on, let's say the Phantom 4? The connections, all the dots aren't connecting in my head, which that happens a lot. So, I don't see the purpose of why
Mhm.
we have to have a friggin' phone if the drone has GPS in it. It should be able to report it that way, but I don't know. It is implied that we can't fly old DJI drones. Boo on the model. Well, it doesn't even matter. Fly at least until September until somebody tells you difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Trevor, I'm hoping that they'll be delivering my tube socks before they do Ken Herons, but
Mhm.
I really don't need any now because I just bought a whole pack of them yesterday. Judy felt good enough to go to Walmart. Well, I was late for Art show.
Except
And,
Lloyd's socks have handles on them, so you could pull
so
them
I can
up.
pull them up. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
That's
so.
what I need. Instead, I
Anyways,
use
guys.
coat hangers to poke
Yep.
through the
Yeah.
top.
Well, we're gonna.
Pull 'em.
I'm going to go ahead and shut down because Drone Nation is on, and go over there and ask those questions because I guarantee somebody in that group will know. So I want to thank everybody who's been in the chat today. I've had a great crowd. Got 22 watching right now, but thanks all of you that showed up and got involved in the chat, and I want to thank Dominic, who's he's sort of the he's the hooker of the live streams,
He's
and
slut.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. Hookers get paid, sluts give it away for free. So
Exactly.
Dominic is the slut of live streams. Yeah.
Yep. I'll write that
And
on
I
a
want to thank
t-shirt
you,
now.
Ron, for being here. And I always want to thank Art for being here. Art and I always have a good time working together. So, anyways, guys, I'm not even going to run the timer out. I'm just say goodbye to everybody. Y'all have a good one. And I will see you guys next week or in the funny papers. Bye bye for now.